DOST-Philippines and the chair of the Scientific Posters Committee of the 2019 Luzon Regional Scientific Meeting. All entries for this year's scientific poster competition will receive a certificate of participation. Our winner for this year's Luzon RSM Scientific Poster Competition will receive a certificate and a cash prize from DOST-Philippines. And so, our winner for this year's poster contest is entry number 17, entitled Life Below Water in the Anthropocene Using Ecological and Isotopic Approaches to Trace Human Impacts in Laguna de Bay and its watersheds. The authors are Elpritson Peralta, Alexis Belen, Julian Gregorio, Iris Bianca de Sos, Norman Mendoza, Takoya Izida, Francis Magmanwa, Nobora Okoda, Andre Don Papa. The entry is from the National Capital Region. May I request any representative from the winning entry to receive the certificate and the cash prize. May I also request the OST-NCR Director, Jose B. Patalinghog, to join the winners here on stage for a short photo opportunity. Congratulations to the winners.
So congratulations po sa ating winner sa Best Scientific Poster Competition. So congratulations also to DOST-NCR. Please don't forget to go to the Secretariat dun po sa ating winner para po sa details ng inyong bank account. Pwede rin pong yung details ng bank account ko ang ibigay ko kung kapag po nalimutan nyo. So to proceed with our program, we'll now be going to the presentation of resolutions. So the DOST-Philippines is the highest advisory body to the President of the Philippines, the Cabinet, as well as the Congress on matters related to science and technology. Activities such as today result in the formulation of resolutions and policy recommendations on specific S&T issues. These recommendations are then transmitted to the President of the Philippines and to various instrumentalities of the government for their perusal. DOST-Philippines also conducts meetings with various government agencies to give them advice on matters of science and technology. This is the second of the 3 regional scientific meetings that is being conducted by DOST-Philippines and the Department of Science and Technology regional clusters. This is in support of the trust of the President Rodrigo Roa Duterte's administration of bringing S&T closer to the people. The conduct of the 3 regional scientific meetings is the prelude to the 41st Annual Scientific Meeting, which will be held on July 10 to 11, 2019 in Metro Manila. And now to present the resolutions formulated during this Luzon Regional Scientific Meeting, may I call on Academician Eufemio T. Rasco, DOST-Philippines Agricultural Sciences Division Chair. So let us give him a big round of applause.
Good afternoon. It is my pleasure to present to you the resolution prepared by our committee. The committee is composed of 11 members. Most of them are regional directors of the Department of Science and Technology. Luzon Regional Scientific Meeting Resolutions. Whereas the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals provide the guiding principles for development until the year 2030, whereas the Philippines endeavors through its various government agencies to achieve Goal 4, which is quality education, Goal 12, which is responsible consumption and production, and Goal 14, life below water, among others, whereas caring for the country's carrying capacity is implicit in achieving SDG numbers 4, 12, and 14, which includes A, plastic pollution, B, sustainable marine food security, and C, sustainable education, talent development, and retention, among others. 4, whereas imposing guidelines on the reduce, reuse, recycle, and redesign of plastics will help in reduction of plastic pollution, whereas addressing the adverse effects of climate change will positively impact the security of marine food resources, whereas investing in sustainable education, talent development, and retention will secure adequate numbers of highly trained and skilled citizens for the nation's advancement, whereas guided by ambition Natin 2040, there is a paramount need to address the aforementioned concerns related to the country's carrying capacity. Now, therefore, it is hereby resolved that the following actions be recommended. On plastic waste, number 1, support for plastic waste recycling and redesign through research and development. 2, allocate funding for R&D on biodegradable plastics with emphasis on making it cost and quality competitive with plastics. 3, continue the R&D on microbial degradation of plastics. 4, promote the use of reusable non-plastic bags, containers. 5, provide government incentives for processors, manufacturers of biodegradable plastic products through tax reduction, exemption, and other measures. 6, explore the possible use of plastic asphalt for the infrastructure program of the government. 7, discourage and eventually ban the use of single-use plastics consistent with international consensus. And 8, regulate the manufacturing, importation, and use of plastics. On sustainable marine food security, 1, mitigate greenhouse gas emission but put greater emphasis on adaptation to global warming to cope with the anticipated negative impacts of climate change on marine resources. 2, promote herbivorous species aquaculture. 3, encourage partnership among local government units, civil society organizations, researchers, and the fishing community for monitoring of environmental parameters, regulation of mariculture, and research, development, and extension. 4, encourage collaboration among LGUs sharing the same genetic resources and bodies of water for effective management of aquatic resources. 5, promote integrated multi-trophic aquaculture through RDE, government incentives, and other measures. 6, use of satellite technology and computational data science to monitor and provide guidance in improving mariculture productivity. 7, encourage communities and business partners to work together to create sustainable fishery enterprises. And 8, capacitate fisher folks to adopt sustainable mariculture practices, specifically in the areas of feed quality, feeding practice, and water quality monitoring, among others. On sustainable education, talent development, and retention. Number one, encourage R&D institutions, the Department of Education, and the Commission on Higher Education to adopt the best practices of the more advanced institutions in sustainable education, talent recruitment, development, and retention. Number two, provide enabling environment that will encourage retention of scientists, engineers, and other talents. Three, lobby for exemption of RDIs from certain highly paralyzing and demoralizing provisions of the procurement law. And four, study the possibility of expanding access to science and math education for all at all levels. It is the expectation of the committee that all the participants in this conference will help us in lobbying for implementation of these resolutions. Thank you very much.
So thank you very much, Academician Rasco. And now to deliver the first response to the presented resolution, may I call on Director Nestor G. Relion, National Economic and Development Authority Region 1 Regional Director, and the Regional Development Council Vice Chair. So I guess you're the representative of Director Relion. Okay. I'm so sorry. So the representative from NEDA is Dr. Irenea B. Obungin.
Good afternoon to everyone. So in behalf of Director Nestor Relion, I would like to deliver the response of the Regional Development Council through the NEDA as the Secretariat. But before I will be delivering my response, let me also thank the organizers, particularly the NAST, for giving us the opportunity to give response to the resolutions formulated in this meeting. Director Relion cannot join us this afternoon because he is attending an equally important meeting in Legazpi City right now. Before I will be giving the response to the resolutions formulated, let me also introduce to you the Regional Development Council, for those of you who are not familiar yet with this body. So the Regional Development Council is the highest policy-making body in the region, and it serves as the counterpart of the NEDA board at the subnational level. It is chaired by an official who is appointed by the President of the Philippines. The primary role of the RDC is to coordinate and set the direction of all economic and social development efforts in the region, and it also serves as forum where local efforts can be related and integrated with the national development activities. In Region 1, this is the structure of the Regional Development Council. So we have the RDC Council proper at the top, and it has also an advisory committee composed of the different representative House members of the House of Representatives representing Region 1. And it has also an executive committee composed of the chairmen of the different committees of the RDC. The RDC has the sectoral committees and support committees. So any concerns regarding the various sectors are discussed first in these committees before these are discussed in the RDC Council proper. So we have 5 sectoral committees of the RDC Region 1, the Economic Development Sectoral Committee, Social Development Committee, Governance, Sectoral Committee, Environment Sectoral Committee, and Infrastructure Sectoral Committee. It has also support committees such as the Regional Project Monitoring Committee, the Regional Statistics Committee, the Regional Research Development and Innovation Committee, the Regional Land Use Committee, Development Communication Committee, Information and Communications Technology Committee, Regional GAD Committee, which is concerned with gender. So these are support committees of the Regional Development Council. Let me also introduce to you our Regional Development Plan. So this Regional Development Plan was approved by the RDC way back in 2017. I'm introducing these documents because I will be relating later our response to these documents. So the RDP of Region 1 provides a strategic direction for the development of our region, and it aims to lay a strong foundation for inclusive growth, a high trust and resilient society, and a globally competitive regional knowledge economy, which is also patterned after the development goal of the Philippine Development Plan. And our plan is anchored on the 0 to 10 point socioeconomic agenda of our President, and also on the 2030 agenda for sustainable development with 17 sustainable development goals. And all of our efforts, of course, are geared towards the achievement of our long-term vision or ambition natin 2040, which is to have a matatag, maginhawa at panatag na buhay para sa lahat by 2040. Okay. So these are the chapters of our Regional Development Plan. It has actually 21 chapters, 16 of which are concerned with sectoral concerns. I will be relating later the resolution formulated to the chapters of our Regional Development Plan. So our RDP is concerned with 3 major pillars, which are malasakit, or enhancing the social fabric, pagbabago, or inequality reducing transformation, increasing growth potential, or patuloy na pagunlad. And it has also support pillars such as enabling and supportive economic environment, and it has also foundations for sustainable development. And we will see later on which chapters of the RDP are the concerns of the resolutions formulated by this group. Okay, and it was also mentioned earlier that the resolutions considered also our sustainable development goals. So we have 17 of them, and earlier in the presentation, they have enumerated the SDGs being addressed by the resolutions, and we will also be confirming them later. So let me now go to our reaction to the resolutions. So we group them according to the topics of this conference. And in this slide, you can see in the left column, the resolution, and then the concerned chapter in our Regional Development Plan, the Sustainable Development Goal being addressed, and the RDC committee, which is responsible in this concern. So for the first concern, which is on plastic waste, we have listed the following resolutions as the resolutions that address under Chapter 14 of the RDP. We have plastic waste recycling, redesign through R&D, regulation of manufacturing and importation and use of plastic, R&D funding on biodegradable plastics. All of this support Chapter 14 on vigorously advancing science, technology, and innovation, and also Chapter 20 on ensuring ecological integrity, clean and healthy environment, and of course, SDG 9 on industry, innovation, and infrastructure. And the concerned committees of the RDC for these resolutions are the Economic Development Sectoral Committee or the EDSECOM, the Environment SECOM, and of course our Regional Research Development and Innovation Committee, which is chaired by the DOST Regional Director, Dr. Armando Ganal. For the next group of resolutions, still on plastic waste, these are also related to Chapter 14, exploring the possible use of plastic waste, the R&D on the microbial degradation of plastic, and the same SDG being addressed, and these are also being addressed, or these are the concerns of the EDSECOM and the RRDIC of the RDC. For the next group of resolutions on the use of reusable non-plastic bags, banning of plastic bags within 5 years, these are concerns of Chapter 20 on environment, which is ensuring ecological integrity, clean and healthy environment, and we have noted that this also supports SDG 11 on sustainable cities and communities. And these are concerns both of the Governance Sectoral Committee of the RDC and the Environment Sectoral Committee. For the next resolution on the tax reduction exemption for biodegradable plastic products, this is a concern of Chapter 16, leveling the playing field through a national competition policy which supports SDG 9, and also a concern of the EDSECOM and the Governance SECOM. Now for the next group of resolutions on mariculture, we have here the promotion of integrated multi-tropic aquaculture, species, the herbivorous species, the aquaculture, use of satellite technology to improve productivity, including the capability building for sustainable mariculture and so on. These are related to Chapter 8 of our RDP, which is expanding economic opportunities in agriculture, fishery, and forestry, and also the support SDG 12 on responsible consumption and production. And the concerned RDC committee here is the EDSECOM, the Economic Sectoral Committee. Then for the next resolutions, we have collaboration among LGUs for management of aquatic resources, including the partnership for fishery business sustainability. This is also a concern of Chapter 8, and they support SDG 12, and also the concerned committee is the EDSECOM. For the next resolution on mitigation of greenhouse gas emission, this is the concern of Chapter 20 on environment, and they support SDG 13 on climate change. This is a concern of the Environment Sectoral Committee. For the next resolution on the multi-stakeholder partnership, this is a concern of Chapters 20 and 14, and they support SDG 17, the last SDG on partnership, and also SDG 9. And these are concerns of the Environment SECOM and of course our RRDIC, because it's also concerned with R&D and technology. For education, unfortunately, we were not given a copy of the list of the resolutions, but we have noted that this address sustainable education, talent development, and retention, which is a concern of Chapter 10 of our RDP, which is on accelerating human capital development, which supports SDG 4 and quality education. And this is a concern of the Regional Social Development Committee of the RDC. So in summary, the resolutions address 5 chapters of the Regional Development Plan of Region 1, particularly Chapters 8, 10, 14, 16, and 20. And this support pagbabago, patuloy na pag-unlad, and they also provide the enabling and supportive economic environment and the foundations for sustainable development. Let me just discuss also the current strategies in our RDP with regards to the chapters. For instance, Chapter 20, One or two of the strategies are related to the concerns of the resolutions. One of the strategies indicated in our RDP is the strict implementation and monitoring of RA 9003 or the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act and the issuance of ordinance on banning the use of plastic bags, cups, and related materials. So since these are included in our RDP, we expect that within the period 2017 to 2022, programs, projects, and activities will be implemented to achieve our goal of to have a biodiversity, the protection of biodiversity. So that is for Chapter 20. For Chapter 8, which is expanding economic opportunities in agriculture, fishery, and forestry, we have noted the following strategy: adoption of appropriate production technologies that are adaptive to the adverse effects of climate change, and also the strict enforcement of agri-fishery laws. And for Chapter 14, we have noted these strategies: increased investment in local R&D, and continuous advocacy or promotion of new technologies among the fisher folks. For Chapter 16, one strategy is the promotion and monitoring of the implementation of a local investments and incentives code. So this will address the concern on the reduction of tax. And for the last concern on the human capital development, we have also here the following strategies: continue and expand the scholarship grants to students and professionals, expand access to higher education, and improve and sustain technical vocational programs to be more responsive to industry needs. So at present, those are the strategies included in our regional development plan, which support or address the resolutions earlier presented. So for the resolutions which are not yet covered by the existing strategies in our RDP, this will be discussed in the different sectoral committees of the RDC. So we would like to request the organizers to provide the RDC the final copy of the resolutions, and we would like to request the sponsors to present this during the sectoral committees of the Regional Development Council. So if approved by the sectoral committees, these resolutions will be elevated to the RDC Full Council, which conducts its meetings on a quarterly basis. The same is true with the sectoral committees. They also conduct sectoral committee meetings, and the next meeting will be conducted for the RDC Full Council on June 26, 2019. So the sectoral committees are expected to be conducting their meetings before June 26, 2019. So once approved by the Regional Development Council, it will issue the appropriate policies, usually in the form of resolutions, and these are endorsed to the concerned entities for appropriate action. And if it is necessary, particularly if it is a national concern, the RDC Region 1 endorsed these resolutions to the other RDCs of the country for the issuance of the appropriate support resolution so that this could be elevated at the national level. We would like also to inform you that this year, we will be updating our regional development plan. So we are updating it after 3 years of implementation. And the resolutions presented earlier will serve as inputs in our updating activities. We shall be including them in the discussions during the workshops that will be conducted. And these workshops will start this third quarter of 2019, and we hope to formulate the updated regional development plan within the year. So all of this, of course, will support the attainment of the vision of Region 1. Our vision, as spelled out in our regional development plan, is for Region 1, by 2022 to be the agribusiness and tourism hub in Northern Philippines with equitable economic opportunities for its globally competitive, happy, resilient, and culturally diverse peoples. So we have noted that the resolutions formulated by this group will contribute to the attainment of the vision of Region 1, so we'll definitely be supporting them. And of course, our efforts are geared towards the attainment of our ambition natin 2040. So we would like to have a life which is matatag, maginhawa, at panatag na buhay para sa lahat. So we would like to thank you for giving us the opportunity to comment on your resolutions, which we hope will contribute to the attainment of our ambition natin 2040. So with our cooperation, we hope that we shall be attaining our vision about 20 or more years from now. Thank you and good afternoon.
So thank you very much, Dr. Erenea B. Ubungin, NEDA Region 1 Development Research Division Chief. So thank you very much, ma'am, for reinforcing and reiterating the relevance of the topics discussed as well as the resolutions crafted during this regional scientific meeting in Luzon. At this point, may I now call on Regional Director Ganal to give his response to the resolutions and also to formally close this Luzon Regional Scientific Meeting.
Thank you, Emmy. And thank you to Dr. Irene for elucidating very well the response of the Regional Development Council through to the resolutions promulgated by this meeting. DOST-1 believes that the work is a multi-stakeholder concern. And as chair of the Regional Research, Development, and Innovation Committee of the Regional Development Council of Region 1, we are in full support to the resolutions passed in this Luzon Regional Scientific Meeting, particularly through the following. 1, overall coordination of research and development endeavors in the region, specifically those focused under the Harmonized Regional Research and Development Agenda. 2, development of strategies that will enhance R&D capabilities in the region. 3, interagency collaboration on partnership on research, development, and innovation, and S&T activities. 4, policies that may be adopted by the Regional Development Council to stimulate innovation-driven economy in the region. 5, endorse R&D proposals to funding institutions, specifically those focused on the current concerns. 6, monitor research and development proposals endorsed by the consortia on agriculture, aquatic and natural resources, industry, energy and emerging technology, and health. Number 7, monitor the progress of implementation of ongoing R&D projects funded by government. And the last, promote the adoption of results of government-funded R&D, innovation, and other S&T-based projects. I am grateful to the NAST Philippines for the opportunity to lead among the 8 DOST Luzon regions in hosting this Luzon Regional Scientific Meeting here in Region 1. Our SUCs and higher education institutions are the most of course, including DOST, are the most benefited sectors here, that they were able to learn every aspect of plastic wastes, how we can manage and minimize their use, as well as sustaining our marine ecosystem and our human resources in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. I am doubly grateful to the City of Alaminos, the Honorable Mayor, Art Celeste, and the whole City Council, the City Administrator, Emilu Eliado, Sir Ray Livara. Hindi nyo lang napapansin, pero he is a very busybody looking for our needs here at the Convention Center. And all LGU personnel who have worked very hard to be of assistance to us. You can hardly find an LGU that gives its all-out support to an activity like this. So may I join everyone to please give them a round of applause. I am grateful to DOST-4B or Mimaropa region through Regional Director Nenet Abilay for accepting the responsibility to host the Luzon Regional Scientific Meeting in 2020 in Puerto Princesa City. To our NAST-Philippines National Scientist Luli Cruz and the academicians, marami po sila, hindi ko na po isa-isahin. Thank you for unselfishly sharing your knowledge and expertise in all the topics that have been discussed in this regional scientific meeting. Expect our engagements with you in the next days. We have a good number of researchers in the whole of Luzon who may be candidates to be academicians. It's just a matter of recognizing them. And of course, to our NAST-Philippines family, headed by Director Ningning Samarita Domingo, we have become closer to each other, Madam, so that the next program will be a lot easier to coordinate. Thank you. We have learned a lot from you guys. To all the academic institutions that have exhibited their R&D studies through the poster exhibits, your studies are well appreciated. All of them have scientific merit and can contribute to regional and even national development. And to all the participants who have sweat it out with us to learn all these things about plastic wastes, marine ecosystem, and sustainable education, you were chosen to lead and act as on these concerns. Thank you for attending and actively participating in the discussions. We are now ending our regional scientific meeting. At this note, I would like to bid you goodbye and good luck to your travel back home. Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat.
Maraming salamat po, RD Ganal, para sa makabagbag damdamin yung closing remarks. And before we finally end this program, let me just read some few announcements. So we would like to inform everybody that synthesis of academician Ruben Villarreal will be uploaded in the NAST website, www.nast.ph, and also all regional directors will be provided with a copy of the resolution for distribution to their respective partner institution in the respective regions. And proceed na po tayo dun sa ating certificate of photo ops. So tinatawagan ko muna po para dito sa unahan si BP for